Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Define Disaster. This is Battlefield 1. In today's weapon review, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Russian 1895 Sniper Recon exclusive bolt-action rifle for Battlefield 1. We're going to be taking a look at the base stats and properties of this weapon, as well as how this all pans out in performance on the battlefield. Probably the best term to describe my attitudes towards sniper rifles in Battlefield 1 is enthusiasm. Coming from Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1 sniper rifles feel so much more responsive, powerful, and fun, at the same time also easier to use. And the Russian 1895 sniper is probably one of the best examples of that. In my opinion, it is one of the best sniper rifles in the game, and I'm going to be showing you today why. Starting off then, as we usually do with weapon reviews, with the stats of this weapon. The Russian sniper has, of course, a sweet spot damage model. That is to say, it starts off with a minimum damage of 80, which starts to increase at the point of 60 meters. You're going to be doing 100 damage. That is to say, a one-shot body shot kill. This goes from 60 meters all the way up to 100 meters, where it starts dropping off back to eventually 80 damage. Now, therefore, we have a sweet spot between 60 and 100 meters, ideal at least for medium long-range sniping. Now, of course, there are those people that shoot sniper shots everything beyond 100, 150 meters, and in my opinion, that is all fine and good, but it's not very effective when you're trying to help out people on objectives. You're much more effective as sniper in medium range because you can take on more targets, and especially in Battlefield 1, where medium range weapons, which used to be things like LMGs or assault rifles, which of course don't exist anymore, are far less effective at the task. Sniper rifles have become increasingly effective in medium range, given their buff to their general performance. So a sweet spot that favors this medium long range combat is ideal, and this is what the Russian sniper has in its sweet spot from 60 to 100 meters. Moving on then to the fire rate of this weapon, relatively high at 64 rounds per minute. This may not be too high when comparing to Battlefield 4, but when comparing to Battlefield 1, this is actually the second highest fire rate of all the sniper rifles in Battlefield 1, beat out only by the Gewehr M95. Moving on then to the muzzle velocity, and this is where things get very much interesting. At 820 meters per second, it's not the highest in the game, but it is certainly high enough to shoot anything moving. You're not going to be leading your targets too much, especially if you're shooting in sweet spot engagement distances. You're going to be leading your targets very little, actually. It's very easy to use the Russian 1895 sniper. Moving on next then to the magazine size. Now, this is smaller than some of the other available sniper rifles out there at 5. However, we are talking about a sniper rifle, and magazine size, unlike with DMRs, SMGs, or LMGs, is not as important, and therefore the 5 shots that you have available, while annoying in that you will have to reload this gun relatively often, especially if you're going through a number of targets, or you're just bad and missing shots like I usually do, you will find yourself reloading this gun a little bit more frequently, but it is not a detriment really to the performance of this weapon or to your personal health as player. You're not going to get killed trying to reload a sniper rifle, otherwise you're playing a sniper rifle pretty much wrong. At least in the case of the Russian 1895 sniper, this is not a close quarter sniper rifle, and you shouldn't have to be reloading this gun in order to kill an enemy. You're better off just whipping out your pistol if you're in close quarter combat. Next up, we have reload times, of course tightly tied to magazine size usually, but in the case of sniper rifles, once more, they're more of a stat to mention on the side, and that they're not too relevant. We have a short reload that is a reload of 1 bullet single of 0.53 seconds, and a strip clip reload that is reloading all 5 of your shots at 1.567 seconds. You will find yourself reloading this gun frequently because of its low magazine size, and you will take some time to reload this gun, but it is a sniper rifle, and as such, you shouldn't be really facing any difficulties in reloading it, in that you're under pressure to do so quickly. So we have the sniper rifle here. How do we equip it? Well, this question in Battlefield 1 is a little bit less interesting than it previously was in Battlefield 4. This is, of course, because of the lesser complex attachment system that we now have. Nevertheless, there's a few things we can briefly talk about, one of them being your choice of reticle. This is a question of personal preference, but in my opinion, at least the cross reticle is what I would usually go. Magnification, on the other hand, is something a little bit more interesting, and this really, in my opinion, depends on your play style, as well as if you played a lot of Battlefield 4 and how you played your sniper rifles in Battlefield 4. For me, I use an 8 times magnification scope on here, even though I'm using the sniper rifle often at distances where something like a 5 times or 6 times magnification, which are available on this gun, would be more suitable. But I'm just used to the 8 times scope, and therefore kind of zeroing in on my targets, even in close quarter, guiding, leading shots, I'm used to doing with either a 4 times or an 8 times multiplier sight, because that's how I did it in Battlefield 4, and as such, I feel most comfortable using the 8 times magnified optic. You can go all the way up to 10, but in my opinion, if you're trying to shoot at 10 times or beyond, if you're trying to shoot at really long range targets, you may want to be using a different sniper rifle with a sweet spot slightly further out. So this is once more personal preference, but in my opinion, especially for those of you that have played a little bit of Battlefield 4, I'd recommend the 8 times magnification option here. Last but not least, then we have the option of barrel attachment, bayonet or no bayonet. And unlike previous videos, I can now give you an answer, in that you should be equipping a bayonet. As I showed in my bootcamp video on the bayonet, where I tested possible adverse effects, possible negative drawbacks to using the bayonet coming to your performance of your weapon, I found none, at least, that were noticeable. And if you haven't seen that video yet, you should check that out. It's been recently posted on my channel. So as far as I know, you should be equipping a bayonet on every weapon you can, and the sniper rifle is no exception to this. So, with the attachments and the base stats of this weapon being covered, what is my impression? Do I like this weapon? Is it effective as sniper rifle in Battlefield 1 for what it has to be good? And my answer to that is universally yes. This is probably one of the top 3 sniper rifles in the game for all purposes. That's saying something in itself. This is not the top medium long range sniper rifle. It is one of the top sniper rifles, period. This comes down to its good fire rate. It's ideal sweet spot. This is one of the best sweet spots, at least personally for my relatively aggressive playstyle. It's not too aggressive, but relatively aggressive playstyle with the sniper rifles. It allows you to get within 60 meters of a target and still one-shot body shot their body. Furthermore, of course, in the case of the optic, we've got the sniper variant here, which provides one of the more accurate optics versus something like an iron sight. Of course, personal preference for me here is an optic, and as such, the sniper variant is what I like to run with. So we have a generally good package, a good fire rate, a good muzzle velocity, and a good sweet spot. And all this together makes for one of the best guns. It's easy to use, it's effective to use, and I would definitely recommend that you try this sniper rifle out if you're still stuck on the relatively competent SMLE MK3 Marksman that I previously reviewed amongst the sniper rifles on this channel. But with that being said, let me know your opinions on this gun down below in the comments. What are your experiences using it? Do you run it slightly different to me? Do you use a different magnification, or have you found that using a bayonet has for some reason an effect that I didn't test in my recent video? Let me know down below in the comments, as well as of course your future video suggestions, both for Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. But at this point then, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next Battlefield 1 video.